Sarvetra Sukhina Santu Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kachit Dukkama Yuna. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. So Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter first, sloka first. So last time I didn't have a chance to mention, this is also called as Arjuna's Vishad Yoga. Vishad, confused, puzzled mind. And as we'll learn more, we'll find out it's not only his confusion, but Arjun is no other than all of us. So we studied last time, I would say we just introduced the two words, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre. Samaveta Yutsavaha. It says that Kuru is the dynasty. In Kuru's kingdom, following, and Kuru's dynasty was popularly famous for Dharmakshetra, means where justice prevails all the time. On that battlefield, I'm literally translating it, by the way. On that battlefield, Samaveta Yutsavaha, people are collected together to fight a war. Who are those? Mamaka Pandavas Chaiva. Mine meaning Dhritarashtra or the Kauravas army, and Pandava's army. O Sanjay, his minister, Dhritarashtra, the king, is asking, he being blind, tell me what is happening on the field. This is literally translation. But now we want to see who is Dhritarashtra, who is Pandu, what is the battlefield, who is Arjuna, and who is Bhagwan Sri Krishna. We studied last time, as I said, we were introduced. So the first, let us take Kurukshetra, Kuru, the name of the dynasty. So the name of the dynasty can be anything. Anything means you can say your own kingdom. And your kingdom meaning what? If your last name happened to be Shah, then you can say Shah's dynasty. Don't go to Egypt though. So Shah's dynasty, Patel's dynasty, Gulani's dynasty. Kshetra word refers to the field of activity. And the field of activity means the boundary, the areas where you act, where you do, where you live. And please understand, hereafter, it will be mutually understandable, questionable homework that all of us will have to think. So at this stage in the game, each one of us, let us inquire in ourselves, what is the field of my activity? If you happen to be a software engineer and you are working in a software office, then your Kurukshetra is your computer office. If you are a housewife and taking care of your house, it is your Kurukshetra. Even if you are walking on the field, you are driving, or you are doing anything, then those are the field of activities. Those are our Kurukshetra. And not necessarily it will be one Kurukshetra. It will be our dynasty on which we act. Now, let's understand Dharma Kshetra. The word Dharma must not be translated as a religion. You can call it auspiciousness, but still there is a better definition. That's where Sanskrit comes into picture. Dharayati iti dharma, meaning one with which we behold, that is our dharma. And what I mean by behold is that is where our existence comes into picture. If we call ourselves human, then our dharma is what? Humanity. If we call ourselves as a bhakta, then our dharma is bhakti. In other words, you are living for bhakti. At the same time, like in this Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is portrayed as a soldier, as a warrior. So his dharma, keeping righteousness in mind, is to save the civils, meaning all the people in that battlefield. But understand hereafter I may not use the word battlefield, but our field of activities. So to say, this Srimad Bhagavad Gita is a beautiful text or a part of the Itihasa, the history, that is guiding us as to what truly is our life and how Vishada, the confusion in our mind, take place. When I say confusion, this is matter of every day's affair, every moment's affair. And what I mean by moment's affair, let us ask ourselves, how often we are subjected to do or not to do. I came 10 minutes late, and I sincerely beg everybody's pardon for wasting your time. But then the question, similar question, must have arose. Is he coming or not coming? Should we go or should we stay? Should we eat this healthy food today or not, today being Monday? People say that to drink tea is good. Is coffee bad or coffee? Which coffee? So this dual possibility and choosing, it becomes so difficult that Vishada, we are thinking to do, not to do, not to do. Confusion. But here, who is Pandava, and who is Kaurava? Kaurava, in this case, it is portrayed as evil people. And Pandava has been portrayed as good people. So we have all the time to do or not to do. When the month of April comes, should we take that as a deduction or not to take? And when we don't, the attraction will be everybody is saying that you put $1,000 for donation. Nobody is checking. So mind will be thinking to take deduction, which we are qualified for or not, but to do, not to do. That confusion, and in that confusion and with that confusion, righteousness or the better good need to be understood. Better good. There are various words I would like to touch upon so that the give me a second, and I would like to share those words with you. They're so powerful. And perhaps each word may take may take 1 or 2 Mondays. So you know how long is this class going to be? Don't worry. So let's see, to do, not to do, and what is better good. First word I would like to take upon is the word flow. The entire flow of life goes on in one direction. Let's just take the flow of a river. Flow of the river is going straight, but in that, if a fish decide to flow against the river, you're going to be exhausted and you'll be dead, because eventually the flow will take you in that direction. So in order for us to conserve our energy, we have to understand the word flow very well. Most of the time, the flow of your heart tells you in one direction, and the flow of your mind tells you in the other direction. I will take one more example in this, and it is very pertaining to all of us, which commonly I referred as 7 minus 1 equal to 0. That is, if we have decided firmly that pretty soon will be a new year and we'll have a New Year's resolution, and that New Year's resolution is to see that I spare myself an hour in the morning for yoga sadhana or yoga contemplation. This is what we decided, our resolution. 6 days are just getting over. 7th day is coming. And the 7th day you think, you know, I sincerely did 6 days. I need to give my body a rest. So one day is good enough if I don't do it. So your mind will be contemplating on it to take one day off or not. And at the same time, you learning the life of principle, you think that no. I have made the resolution. So 7 days is 7 days. No more days off. Do I take a day off from not eating or not breathing, not drinking water? So I must work 7 days, go for yoga 7 days. And so if you did do, say, 7 days, then mind will play the trick again. You see, you never give your body even a day off. What kind of person are you? And if you did take a day off, herewith we are learning the word vishad. So when you take a day off, that too, then you say you never will hold on to your principle, your determination, or New Year's resolution. So this war, the war on the Kurukshetra, is our daily chore. And this war is not visible outside. It's always in your mind and makes you unrestful. So just simply do not read the sloka and translate and go ahead and say, oh yeah, I read the entire Bhagavad Gita on last Tuesday, happened to be Gita Jayanti. So a lot of repetition was going on. And people were chanting one after another sloka. And they think that they are doing punya work. And that is not bad, mind you. But the better good would be just even to take one chapter and understand it. Not even one chapter, one sloka. Not even one sloka. Just the first word, Dharma Kshetra. That's it. What is Dharma Kshetra? And even the Dharma Kshetra happened to be two words. Dharma Kshetra. Kshetra, the boundary, the kingdom of Dharma. So let's not take two words, just the word Dharma, and understand on it, contemplate on it. Dharayati iti Dharma. The one that beholds you is Dharma. And that alone can be the contemplation for entire life, my friends. Lot of time while learning yoga sadhana, we are so often told that how should I do yoga? Or am I doing yoga posture correctly?
I found 29 results, including Hakini Mudra, Happy Baby Pose, Ananda Balasana, and Low Lunge.
Pardon me. So we often ask, and most of you must have asked at least, if you not have asked, at least you would have heard the answer to. Am I doing yoga posture properly? Or am I meditating? What technique do I follow? And several other pertaining questions. And at that time we were told, Manah Shanti Chitta Prasannata. meaning your mind is so calm and serene during the asana as well as after the asana. You're not exhausted, you're not tired. And prasanna, meaning your whole body, your whole being is prasanna. Prasanna, meaning all encompassing, receiving, and in a total accepting phenomena. What I mean by accepting phenomena, you are right, but the other person is also right. This is acceptance because there are millions and billions and trillions of activity to be done. So instead of not doing or condemning the activities of the other, that is not yoga. So more and more you start practicing, more and more openness will come into your being. More and more openness comes into picture. What truly happens is, it's not that the other person feels good, but you yourself feel good because you are accepting. There is no conflict in us. There is no vishada in you. So almost 99% of the time, whenever the vishada happens, whenever the confusion happens, in confusion, one is always the right and the other person is always the wrong. And this, there's no judge outside of you. You're not going to a court, but this court, our head, continuously puzzled. Why don't the people understand? Why does Vijay doesn't understand? And Vijay thinks Sujata doesn't understand. Has Vijay ever thought that Vijay alone doesn't understand and Sujata may be understanding once in a while? I'm just taking the name out of my dictionary or directory, you can say. So that confusion to do or not to do. So the peacefulness and expansiveness, acceptance, and other words, doership. So far as you don't think and you firmly commit to yourself that you are not the doer, meaning your body is used as an instrument by the supreme reality or the universe, and you are going through and you are doing it. Whether it could be a job with service or otherwise. Sometimes, and I have heard many times, a religious office or the temple or the church or synagogue, something is being built. And the person wants to donate heavy money and say a couple $1 million. And person can see my temple. Why your temple? Where did you get that from? Because you donated $10, $15 million. Is the temple yours? You were given an opportunity to be a contributor into the existence of the temple, whether you did or not, whether you lived or not, building the temple was going to be built. So you do not put the label, I did it, I-ness. And a lot of time people say that to be happy, take ego out of it. But the ego is in the day-to-day life. A host may invite you, and host would like to hear, oh my God, the soup is so delicious. And then the host will start being swelled up with the appreciation, and then she or he start describing the recipe with an awareness. I am the most appreciated cook. So with these, what happens is limitations. Kshetra, there is no expansion, there is no acceptance. But instead of that, if the cook understands that it was such a pleasure to serve the prasad, God bless food. So no doership. Mindfulness. Mindful, anything that we do. By the way, I am introducing all this word to make us aware of the first word, dharma, kshetra, dharayati iti dharma, one that beholds you. All these words we can contemplate forever, and this word will hold our personality, not in the society, but right in the brain of ourselves. Some people you would have seen that their face radiates. They're so composed, so quiet, no matter who says what, they are not at all disturbed. So mindfulness, meaning anything we do, all of us are sitting and listening today, but if your mind is that as soon as Swamiji finishes, I will go and have my dinner. So your mind is in dinner and not in 100% attention to. One couple more words I would like to introduce. Curiosity. In the name of curiosity, what we are really doing it, that your vicious mind is doubting whether is it possible that this thing can happen. How could he practice yoga every day, 1 hour? Oh, come on. And then he said, no, Swamiji, I'm just curious to know, what do you do? He's not interested in what I really do, but he's interested in really knowing that, do I really do for 1 hour? And that too every day. So in the name of curiosity, it is your doubting, disturbing attitude that is playing the role. And to Swamiji, it doesn't matter. But to you, and still, if your mind has decided, come on, I don't think he practices 1 hour. So if I say that once in a while I practice for half hour, and sometimes not at all, then you may feel good, okay, that's okay. But if his mind would have been that I must be practicing a lot more than 1 hour. So curiosity, one has to examine oneself as to why are you so concerned? Whosoever does differently, what you have to do, nothing. Another word, we can take it as conscious. Are you really conscious of listening, any activity that you do? Conscious means be fully aware. And awareness is the key in yoga. Here, even though I say in yoga, but awareness is the key in fighting any battle. If you let go of those words and you do not understand the word dharma kshetra, then we can go ahead and repeat Bhagavad Gita every day, and you think we'll be earning a lot of punya austerity. Another word can be, we all the time blame the other person, saying that, hey, Vijay is so bad. Vijay hurt me. But in case you think that Vijay did hurt you, but he says, hey, anybody can make a mistake. Who cares? Let it go. So you do not have to necessarily materially, physically pardon Vijay, but in your mind you let go. It's all right. Why do I have to concern whether he insulted me or not, whether he did my work or not? So in your mind, in yourself, in doing your dharma, you pardon him. So really speaking, you pardon him or her. And when you did do that, really speaking, tell me who is benefited. As soon as you hold on to Vijay as a responsible person, then what's going to happen? Every single minute Vijay will come in front of your memory. So what will happen? Your life will be nothing but Vijay. You will not be thinking of the whole universe. You will not be thinking of all expansiveness, awareness. And you are not really thinking of your city that you live in, but you're thinking of that region. Forget about this, forget about the country, forget about the universe, forget about the stars, planet, galaxy, and the galaxies of galaxies. Such a magnetic and enormous, expansive universe exists. We never get time to just sit outside and look at the star, look at the sky, and the vastness, skyness. We never get chance. Why? Because I did not pardon Vijay. Vijay, 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 and Vijay. So all those words, when we study one by one, the contribution is so profound. And we all the time think that, why did Vijay behave so bad? It's not really speaking, nobody is bad and nobody is good. People get a role to play and execute the bad karmas, and people get a role to play to execute good karmas. So if you understand this, the person is not bad at all. One has to play the different role. So it is the karma activity, that is another chapter by itself. If we'll come across, we will talk about it. But it is because of the karma this thing happened. Then there is nothing bad or nothing wrong or right. It is the definition in our mind that this karma is bad and that karma is good. So that way, who told you that the heat is bad and who told you that the coldness is good? Nowadays, in the current environmental condition, how dare you could say the heat is bad? We all have heater going on in our house. Anyway, so the word that we studied today is the flow, peace, doership, mindful, curiosity, consciousness, awareness, pardon, karma, and a few more. I mean, We can keep on adding to this. But each and every word we try to study will be walking on the path of Dharma, with which we can qualify ourselves as human. If we can qualify ourselves with human, we are executing the best Dharma ever, is humanity. Humanity is love. Humanity is compassion. Humanity is peace. And once we focus on these words, once we just contemplate on this word, how would you ever think that Vijay did this thing bad to me? You will always be thinking good. And goodness will bring you the expansion. Goodness will bring you better good. Understand, I'm not incorrect in English grammar. Better, good. You do the goodness, but still in an improving fashion. Let it be better. Choose which is a better deal. So what is more expensive, and those need to be looked at. So now, coming back to Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra. And Kurukshetra, the field of activities, we have so many field of activities. Everywhere you apply this, and once you start applying, generousness will come to you. Your family expansion will come into picture. Family expansion means responsibility expansion. And on a day like this, Christmas is coming. And if you were to just concern about yourself and not thinking of another human being, how one is living and may not have food on the table, don't you have a heart to share something with it? And it's not that you are earning punya, mind you, but the definition of your family is encompassing every person on this earth. At the same time, your mind will say, you cannot help everybody. I understand you cannot help everybody, but whosoever you could do, you feel good, you feel better good, rather than just consuming the food yourself. Again, the war will happen. Your heart would like to say, let me at least go on a Christmas Eve and serve whosoever I can. But the mind will say, there's so many people starving. I can't help everybody. On that level, let me share one little story. And this story, keep it always in your mind when your mind argues with you that you cannot help everybody. It was a nice beach, and on that, it was a heavy tide, and heavy tide brought a lot of starfish on the sand. And it would ebb, the water was receding. And one young boy thought that, oh my God, this fish will die unless they are put in water. So he will take one fish and throw it into the water. Take another fish and throw it into the water. Throws way deep so that it gets into the water. One person was there, a so-called overwise person. He said, hey, young man, are you wasting your time? You see, there are millions of starfish on the sand. you can't make any difference in their life. At that time, once again, he picks up one fish and throws it into the water. And he said, these words are golden words. I could not make a difference in all the fishes' life, but I did make the difference into the one I threw into the water. That is satisfaction. That is better good. And that too, again, don't think that you are doing any punya work or not, but this is your dharma. Dharayati iti dharma. So what do you define dharma? It is so wonderful, dear friend. So I will have to beg your pardon that I haven't even touched into enough detail the first word, dharma kshetra. But to summarize in an application fashion what is Pandava and what is Kaurava, what is bad and good to do and not to do. That war was not thousands of years ago, commonly described as Mahabharata, and narrowly described in this 700 verses, 700 sloka of Bhagavad Gita. But that war is here today and now. And my kshetra is not anywhere else. My kshetra is right in my mind. So person may ask, then what is the solution? Solution is just sit quietly, contemplate, begin with your dharana. Chitta-baddha yogastha dharana, meaning you limit your thinking activity. So what you're doing, in other words, what we commonly call meditation. Meditation is a must. Whether you have blood pressure or not, whether you are utmost healthy or not, whatever it is, but meditation is a must. And keep on digesting the word dharma. Dharayati, it is dharma, the one that beholds you. And these are all different characteristics that we talk about. And once again, to remind you so that these words will stay engraved like flow, peace. And the word peace we have also described many times is that my inner peace is non-negotiable. Whether Vijay kept on doing it or not, but whether to take it in a reactive fashion and keep it afresh in my mind, I have a choice. So the word flow, peace, doership, mindfulness, curiosity. Curiosity, there's nothing wrong in having curiosity, but most of the time, we are exploring, the result will be unpleasant. Consciousness, awareness, be aware all the time. And every single second, pardon, pardon, and pardon. Never, ever have the feeling of guilt, you yourself, nor anybody else. Sometimes people have feeling of guilt. Oh my God, I should have studied Bhagavad Gita so long. Oh, I'm already 80 years old. Yes, but you are 80 years old, but first day past 80 years, you still have, let's make use of it. Otherwise, on the second day, you will say, 80 years and 1 day is wasted. So never feel guilty. pardon all the time, and start believing in the principles of karma. Maybe stop here. And if you have any question, concern, I will take in a few minutes. Let me open up the view so that I could see you all.
Hi, I'm new here. I'm Raksha's cousin and family to all of them. I don't have any questions, or I do have one question. This is my first time here, and what is Dharma?
Dharma?
Dharma. Dharma.
Oh, okay. Dharma is a Sanskrit word, and that means path of righteousness. With which,
Okay,
with
thank
which you
you.
can call yourself human being. Okay? And as we go further,
Okay,
you will learn more and more. So say if you happen to be a student and your dharma is to study.
mhm.
Got it?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Thank you.
And for that, you don't have to go to a church or a temple. So at that time, what will be your Kurukshetra? Either college or your library or your home, right? That's where your activity is building. So in other words, this is for everybody and for every day's life. So dear friend, once again, I will say, be aware of the word dharma, contemplate on it, and try defining in your mind just the two words. What is dharma kshetra? Kshetra, again, the area of activity where you can apply your dharma, and what is Kurukshetra? And who is Kuru and who is Pandava? Kaurava and Pandava. For that, don't look outside. And the only two persons I didn't mention much about is Krishna and Arjuna. Arjuna is you, and Krishna is your inner self. So Krishna, for that, you don't have to wait until meeting Krishna for Krishna Janmashtami. Okay? It is with us every single day. And moment you will do meditation, and there will be some moment during which you may feel you were asleep, you didn't know what you were doing, but still you were awake, alive, and so expansive, so you felt so good. That is the stage of meeting Bhagwan Sri Krishna. So with this, Hari Om Tat Sat.